All right, guys, welcome back to the YouTube channel. How we all doing today? Hopefully you're doing good. What's up, Ace? What's up, Tony? What's up, Garvin? Good to see all of you. Good to see all of you. How's everybody doing this week? Hopefully you are doing well. Hopefully you are doing as well as people's wallets who want a new Balisong. Actually, that's not true. You just got back from class? You just got back from class, brother. It's 9 p.m. Holy moly, it's 9 p.m. Got a TOA Hades in. Nice. Hello, it's me. It's the guy. It's the man. It's the dude. It is Camaro Athan. I'm not even going to try. Bladathan Biathan at. That is a name. I love that. That is, yeah. Dude, I don't know if there's been any culture that you've missed. I've streamed maybe like 5 times since the awards. You know what? Actually, let's check this now. I think I have streamed less than 5 times since the Bally Awards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've streamed 6 times since the Bally Awards. One of them was a Transformers unboxing, so it doesn't count. So I've done 5. My one stream a week thing is not going well, because at this point we would have had about 10 streams. So I've been doing one every 2 weeks, it feels like. Well, what are you gonna do? My fault. Just finally broke my fast. What? Cream, what are you talking about? Yeah, the Transformers stream didn't have much culture. There wasn't much culture there. Oh, finally broke my fast foe today. You're saying foe without the R. It's chat, I'm just using slang. Foe is short for 4, in case you didn't know that. I'm just using slang. I understand what you mean now. I was like, I broke my fast foe. What is this? What is this? I don't know what a fast foe is. No, I broke my fast foe today. Can't be hip anymore. Faux show, bro. I'm gonna... Yeah. Both Bally's in hand. Astra is interesting. Not as positive I was hoping on that one, but that's why you try things before you buy, right? Wing instantly grew on me, but I'm not sure if you're aware yours has serious bind on the lateral swing on the spite side. It makes sense. It's been sitting in a case for a little while. Yeah. It has been sitting there. I don't really test lateral swing before I send stuff out. Probably should have done that in the 2 Balisongs that I sold recently. Whoops. Now he's just quoting Rhythm Heaven. I don't even know what that is. Guys, calc is short for calculator. In case you just joined, I'm just using slang. Calc is short for calculator. Just in case you're wondering. I know some people might be wondering. Hold on, I gotta... There we go. I can't block that. Gotta show that I'm Ted's #1 fan. Always and forever, baby. Interesting, not bad, just different than what I expected. Usually, for some reason, whenever I hear someone say something is interesting, I don't think good things. Maybe that's wrong. Also, hi, Brandon. I read your message. I didn't say hi. I hope you're doing well. You should look at the Nabali's leaderboard challenge. Dude, I don't want to because it's going to make me feel inferior. It's going to make me feel incredibly inferior. Wait a minute. Hold on. Okay, you know what? Fine. I'll look at it before we get into our title topic here. Let me just... Is that a Good Griefs reference? I have no idea what that is either. Are you telling me only 2 people have submitted scores for scissors? And it's on trainers? Oh, I could do this. No, I couldn't. I could do a double scissor. That's about it. But currently, right now, that would put me in 3rd place. So, Tony, shout out Tony. Tony is winning the ladders, and he did so many that I don't think anyone is ever going to want to try. See, the thing with the Nabali's Climb Challenge is... Maybe this just speaks to me as a person, or maybe this speaks to how I feel about Balisongs in general lately. I see someone do 600 ladders. I'm just not trying. I'm sorry. I'm not sitting down and I'm not grinding that for you know, 10 hours. I'm just not. I see someone did 600. I go, hey, that's really impressive. I close the page and I move on. 5 minutes straight of ladders. That's insane. Holy shit, Tony. That's... I'm not going to sit here and watch the whole thing for what I hope are obvious reasons, but that's really impressive. What is this? Oh, Tony made a Balisong collection video. Tony, do you upload on YouTube? How did I not know this? 8-minute long zero gravity chaplain. See, this is the other thing. I love 0G chaplains. I'm not doing 1,000 of them. Also, this seems like cheating, no? Don't you have to have the... I thought the whole point was the clock has to be... Whatever. Okay, to be fair, this is very slow, so I can see why you kept it up for a while. Actually, would that make it harder? Good Grease is the cartoon turtle that made the meme short for calc. I didn't know that. I just saw that funny video on Instagram. You should do a fun flippers category for the Bally Awards next year. Yeah, I do. It's called Flipper with Flair. But no one actually wants to vote for flippers. That's a whole rant that I could start, but people really fucking hate Flipper with Flair because usually, like, you think of, like, Flipper was a dolphin, and as soon as you mention him, like, 99% of the people who get off on how good they are at flipping will just instantly shoot you in the back of the head. Because as soon as you mention that guy's name, they want to kill themselves. Throwback to the Kraken chaplain. See, the chaplain one is one I could do. I could sit here for an hour in chaplain because that's more like fortitude than it is skill. Doing an 8-minute vertical chaplain or 0G chaplain, I couldn't do that. I've tried on stream before to do 0G chaplains. I can get like 30 seconds max. And I tried recently. I can do like 20-30 seconds max, that's it. I'm not doing 8 minutes of this. I mean, this is just a vertical chaplain at this point. To be fair, This is basically just a vertical chaplain at this point, so maybe I could do this. Also, what is this kid just listening to? We listen and we don't judge. Is this kid just listening to Reddit text-to-speeches while he's ripping a 0G? That's awesome. I think I have brain rot until I realize that like people put those on in the background. I'm not judging. If that's what you do, go for it. But I don't think I've ever put on a Reddit story in the background. Holy cow, my birthday is coming up. What Balisongs do you recommend? I have a whole list of Balisongs that I recommend linked in the description. Go check it out. But yeah, all of these are just like super impressive. Honestly, the scissor one is one that I could maybe go for. But I could only do like 3 or 4. I just don't want to sit. I just couldn't sit there and do a ladder for 5 minutes. Certainly couldn't do a 0G for 8 minutes. So super impressive to those guys. I am not even going to attempt that. But let's talk about our main man right here. Talk about the title of the stream. Last stream, guys, we talked about this boy, the newest Balisong from LDY. They had revealed it, but they had not revealed the price. I would be wearing the same exact outfit if I didn't have this sweatshirt on. So I want to go back and I want to look at all of our guesses. What did we guess that the LDY kite was going to go for? There was a certain point where I actually asked. I don't know when it was. I thought there was a certain point where where I asked everyone to guess what the kite was going to be. Maybe not. I don't know. But the kite ultimately came out, in case you haven't seen this somehow, as $219, which is just like, for what you're getting here is insane. I think this is one of the only Balisongs that I have seen that is gonna even touch the BB Superfly. I don't know if this is a hot take or not. I think the BB Superfly is one of the greatest deals in our hobby, the greatest values in our hobby, period. $230 for a titanium trainer that's built well, it's built in North America, and it flips really well with an interchangeable weight system, I think is insane. I think this will be one of the first things that touches it, and certainly touches it for anyone who's looking for a live blade. Because you've had the Sirius, you've had all that stuff. I can't exactly say that the Sirius was like super worth it. I can't say that the Cygnus was, or the Sirius was like a crazy, crazy, crazy value for what you were getting. It was good, but I think this is like LDY's big ticket, crazy value live blade if they ever decide to continue to make it, which they might not. But what do you guys think? What does chat think about the kite? That's what I want to know. I want to know community sentiment. I wish the kite was G10. Can't stand carbon fiber. I am the opposite. All-Tem kite would be cool, but probably very slippery. What's up, Hop? Mine gets here tomorrow. Nice. I hope you enjoy. Should have added pins and kept it the same price. The pinsless isn't going to last. I mean, I've got plenty of pinsless Balisongs. All of mine have held up. I'm not going to use that to say that pinsless is good, but I don't think it would have been the same price if they introduced pins. It's an extra step in production, which ultimately will make things more expensive. Now the real question would be, would you be willing to pay for the premium of having pins? I don't know if most people would. If it had press fit pins, you wouldn't be able to anodize. Technically not true. You can still anodize with pressed pins. It's just very hard. And I know that because my Nemesis V2 had pressed pins, and the person that I sent it to didn't have the capability of taking them out, and he still anodized it just fine. So it makes it more difficult for sure, but it doesn't make it impossible. Now, you might not be able to make it the pink. I think there's some sort of limitation with what colors you can achieve if you can't get the pins out. But also, they could just anodize it before they press the pins. So, any thoughts on the new Flightanium Zenith 2.0? So, I don't know. I don't know the changes they made. Let me see. Have they done like a press release on this thing? They have. Okay. What do we have? Let me just... There's always Flame Anno. Flame Anno doesn't last. Flame Anno is very, very, very non-durable. Also known as fragile. I'm just using slang. Rounded adds better grip, improved balance, T10 pivots, tactile bite indicator. So T10 pivots, honestly, huge change. T8 sucks. Get it out of here. One of the edges comes to a softened point. I don't know how noticeable that'll be, but maybe it will be. Yeah, I guess it would be. I actually don't mind that for a bite handle indicator. Rounded the handle ends. Makes doing tricks like palm spins easier. Cool. I like that they're calling out specifically what it helps. New handle ends paired with the speed channels give the 2.0 superior weight balance and performance. See, and now we're back to not using any terminology whatsoever. So this just means nothing. If they added these little speed channels, it's just going to make it slightly more handle bias feeling, because this is going to push the weight distribution out towards the end of the handle. So it's just going to feel heavier in the handles. Improved grip, super grippy anodized finish. Oh, did they bead blast it? Oh, I bet they bead blasted it. 70-75 bushings. What is the price? $60. That's not bad. That is not bad. I like this ultraviolet. That is a cool color. This is cool. The original Zenith didn't really blow me away, and it certainly didn't make a splash. I don't think many people were talking about the original Zenith, but maybe this new maybe this new upgrade is exactly what it needed to get put into the conversation for like beginner Balisongs. Because I don't think the original Zenith made any splashes in terms of people recommending stuff to beginners. What's up, Steven? Pinsless will last. Look at the V1 Orcas that have been around for years. I think saying pinsless will last and then pointing at a JK knife is maybe not the best example that you could use there. But if he fixed it from the, what was it, the Monarch, then great. Ends and handles on the V2 are quite different. The Ruined was bead blast, but you hardly felt it. The Ruined was? Yeah, the Ruined was a very light bead blast. There's a Spectrum bead blast. Whenever I hear bead blast, I just think squid. Squid has a very heavy bead blast, and I hate it. I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. I got one for $51 with the current discount. That's not bad. Combo of removing the dead chunk of aluminum at the end and these two speed channels make it way less handle bias. So, objectively, yes, but what they do is speed channels will push distribution. So it'll be less handle biased, but it can feel a little bit more handle biased because you take some weight out of the middle of the handles, which makes the ends of the handles feel a little bit heavier. It kind of, like I said, it spreads out that distribution a little bit more. So while it might be balance-wise, less handle bias, it could feel like momentum-wise a little more handle preference. I don't know. We'll see. They also removed end weight too. How much did they remove end weight? Because this, to me, sorry, I keep forgetting to put this over on this screen. If we take a look at this, and then I look up... Oh, okay, I see, chat. I totally forgot that the Zenith trainer used to look like this. So the Zenith trainer used to have these angled handles, which I think look pretty cool, but, you know, can kind of kill the ends of handles for some people. So the new one, I guess I can't really get a good feeling for how much they actually removed here. From the end of the channel, they had about 1, 2, 3 things of jimping. Now there's only 2. So they removed a whole jimping line. Okay, that's not bad. If they removed end weight, it looks like they removed... Like, if I had to do an estimate really quick, I would say that probably right about here is cut off. Actually, probably a pretty bad estimate. Because it looks like to me in this new picture, there's only 1, 2 things of jimping. So it looks like they got rid of all that. Is that a ton? Maybe? I don't know. Although Balisongs are weird. Sometimes you look at something and you think it's going to do one thing, and then it doesn't do that thing, and it feels actually completely different. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, those are definitely changes that make me a little more interested in the Zenith. Like I said before, it really feels like the original it really feels like the original Zenith didn't make a splash whatsoever. Aside from like a few weeks after it released, when that's all that people could ask about. But people are going to make cool scales for the kite. I mean, hopefully that'll be cool. I think of the EPS 101 V2 recoil you did. That knife was so upsetting to my hands that I've just blocked it out. That and the Nibali's extrusion. 2 of the worst feeling Balisongs I've ever felt. And the squid trainer at Blade Show, because it was all dirty and ugh. Farbos, my man. How's Acra doing? Hopefully you're doing well, my bro. I keep seeing you pop up on my story and I go, that's my Farbos. He's a little guy. That's awesome. Crazy seeing your collection getting bigger than mine now. We're downsizing a little bit though. Although I guess we are kind of flattening out. Yeah, no, I haven't downsized that much really. I still need to sell the Matata. I keep forgetting to relist that thing. Probably because no one wants it. I'm probably going to have to sell that thing for way, way less than I have it listed for, but we'll see. We will see. The collection's good. The collection's chill. The collection's, you know, ultimately very little of what I display back here now, but I kind of like it that way. It feels more balanced. Last I saw mine go was for $35. At $35, it's not even worth shipping it out. Got the Vulp and the Barracuda as my collection, but the Zen pin on the Vulp keeps falling out. Thank you for reminding me to make this video. The Zen pins on the Vulp are going to fall out. Glue them back into place. They are not press fit. I don't know why Nabali's didn't press fit them, but Nabali's didn't press fit them. So you have to glue them in yourself when they fall out, unfortunately. I've had interest in the Matata, but the only people that have been interested have been beginners. They're like, oh, I'm getting my first or second Balisong, and I put my proverbial hand on their shoulder and I go, I'm gonna be real with you, Chief. Don't get this one. Don't get this one as your first or second Balisong. Just don't. Cool. You think my trusty super glue could work with that? Yeah, of course. Super glue, Loctite. Just make sure you don't get in the pivots, but you're dealing with Zen pins. There's not really a good way. You could just send it to a friend and burden them with it. I could just send it to Pyro. Just without telling him. That would be pretty funny. It just shows up on his doorstep. Don't put a return address on it. That would be pretty funny. You know, I just realized, Ted, you're in chat. I haven't opened your package yet. I was going to do that tonight. I got mega distracted. I fell asleep, and now I'm here. So I guess I'm doing that tomorrow. Used Threadlocker a lot, but over time it kept falling. Threadlocker blue isn't meant to be permanent. If you wanted it to be permanent, you could use Threadlocker red, but then at that point, you might as well just use super glue. Just use the super glue. Threadlocker blue is definitely a temporary solution on a part that's taking that much force. Getting hit by the blade every, you know, half a second or whatever. Brandon, it's your fault. It's your fault that the pins fell out. It's all your fault. You better apologize now. Oh wait, he did. My fault. See, now it's all my fault. Personally lubricated all the pins with my saliva. Oh, so they should never fall out then. Or I guess that's why they always do fall out, because the acidity eats through them eventually. Didn't think about that. How do people usually remove Threadlocker? Threadlocker just... Is Threadlocker the one that dissolves in water? No, I'm thinking of Gorilla Glue. Threadlocker you just break. As long as it's blue... And it's not as long as it's not red, you should just be able to break it with a screwdriver. The super glue never fails to stick my hands together. Actually, oh, heat. That's what it is. Thank you, Cream. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, would super glue even work sticking metal to metal? I don't know if it would. I have a really good plastic bonding system that I had to use on a transformer that fell off the shelf back there and broke. But I don't know if it would work on metal. I didn't even think about that. Maybe if you You'd have to ask someone else that question. I don't know. I assume squid uses blue. Squid. Gorilla Glue worked for me in the vault. Great, there you go. Squid uses red, don't they? I swear I've seen a ton of reports of people trying to take apart their squid stuff and it was red. Yeah. Red, so red you can't just break with a screwdriver. I mean, you could if it was light, a light enough application, I think. That's going to be the the either boiling water method or the hairdryer method. Don't use a soldering iron. That feels like it would break something. Soldering iron would... Yeah, I don't know about that. Red is boiling water. Why didn't I... Oh, right, because I was doing the Nautilus, and I didn't know how the fiberglass would react to boiling water. Boiling water. Just be careful, please. Yeah, melt the aluminum to the screws. You've done it many times. What? I somehow managed to fix my Barracuda's bent handle. How in the fuck do you... How did you bend a Barracuda handle? Boiling water. Yeah, boiling water I think is the best way. I used a hairdryer to heat it up. It was kind of a process though, because I was kind of a pussy. I didn't want to heat it up too much, so... We had to break some red. Small blowtorch for like 3 seconds worked great. See, that also seems like overkill to me. I mean, maybe a soldering iron won't melt aluminum, but a blowtorch would eventually. Granted, you got to heat it up a lot, but... You know what? You guys are the experts on this. I've only ever broken red once, and I never did it again, so... Yeah. Just whatever you do, be careful. Heat is, it can burn you, believe it or not. I know this from personal experience. If it's heat, it can burn you. We can add that one to the words of wisdom. Throw it up on the wall behind me. Heat, it burns you. Why is it called a kite? That's a great question. I would assume it's something to do with the blade shape, but I actually don't know the answer to that. What even is the what is the kite? That's technically, what is it, a sheep's foot? Sheep's foot or reverse Tonto? Warncliffe? I think it's technically a sheep's foot. I'm looking at a chart over here. Sheep's foot sounds cool. Does it? Does it really? Ah, shit. I need to do that too. Oh, there's so much stuff that I need to do that I forgot to do. Uh-oh. Well, I'm streaming now. Can't stop that. Dude, the kite's exciting. I don't know. I'm just feeling excited about it. It flips good. It looks good. It's kind of confusing to flip, I will say that. I know I'm going to catch flack from people when I think one of my biggest complaints about the kite, if you could even call it a complaint, is that it's like, it is really difficult to get used to if you're used to normal Tonto or Bowie or whatever style blades. Flipping that can kind of be a real mindfuck. And I just know I'm going to get comments from people who are just god flippers who are like, skill issue. It's like, listen, I get it. You don't do anything else. And you flipped every blade shape imaginable. But to people who don't do this 25/8, it's going to be a little difficult to get used to. What's your favorite Mario game? Mario Galaxy. Easy. Or 64. 64 is a banger. I'm going to dull mine. It might be one of the first live blades I get that I actually do dull. Although I do really like the fact I've been really enjoying having this style tip for like cutting stuff. Because instead of this whole side being sharp over here, this side's sharp over here. So you just kind of poke the tip in and then you have that whole flat cutting edge directly right there, instead of having to poke it through and then go all the way down to get the flat cutting edge here. It's been kind of nice. I don't know if that actually like makes it easier to cut, if the blade shape is easier to, you know, like get into spaces and cut things. But I have been really enjoying just having the full flat side of the blade right there at the tip. So I don't know, I might not dull it, but I also want to be able to flip it more. I haven't been getting too crazy with it because I still have a heart attack every 5 seconds I flip it. Others who got them said theirs were uncomfortable and the CF scales were splintering. I wouldn't say it's uncomfortable at all. I think it feels quite good. The only thing that I don't like is the G10's a little dry. I'm going to try oiling it. In fact, I could do that. You know what? I'll do that right now. I'm going to put like a drop on each of the scales and hydrate it a little and see if it fixes any of the discomfort. I wouldn't even say it's discomfort. It just like feels kind of thirsty, if that makes any sense. Feels kind of dry. When chat got a kite? I think the only people with kites right now are content creators. I think all the pre-orders, Cream Soda said in chat that his pre-order was coming in tomorrow or the next day. But I'd be surprised if anyone has their actual kite yet. Who we got us today? Who? I don't know if the oil method works on carbon fiber the same as it works on G10. Oh, I'm the tricks. Gotcha. Now it just kind of feels greasy. I'll let it work in a little bit. Oil made a huge difference on the Refault G10. Yeah, the G10 it usually works well with. I just don't know if carbon fiber has the same properties. I don't know if you saw it. I got my palette signed by Good Kid when they were in Orlando. I didn't see that. That's actually awesome. That's really sick. That's actually really cool. Getting a palette signed. What did they sign it with? Like a paint marker or something? Just a Sharpie? One of the handles of my palette cracked. Yeah, they tend to do that, unfortunately. Thinking it'll show up in the next week or so. It might even show up earlier, depending on when you got it. LDY has a US-based warehouse, I think. I guess it also depends where you're located compared to that. Is the cycloid still your favorite plastic ballet? It never really was. I gotta be honest with you. The cycloid never really was my favorite plastic ballet. I guess that Threadlocker was the thing causing Flipforge's stuff to crack. I heard him. He messaged me with that maybe like a month ago. He was like, I'm starting to see some correlation between that. And he said he'd follow up on it with people, and that's the last I heard of it. So I don't know if he's actually confirmed that. I don't know if he's actually made that full connection yet. Must have confused you with another creator. Yeah, I mean, the only time the Cycloid would have been my favorite plastic Balisong would have been way back with the Cycloid V1. But even that, I can't say I liked a ton more than the Squiddy B. Cycloid HD, I think he means. You at one point said it was growing on you. It was growing on me, but I don't think the Cycloid HD was ever even close to taking my #1 spot. It's always been the palette, and it's always been the edit light. Second or third, maybe, but favorite, no. Okay, wait, let me clarify. Favorite flipping, no. Favorite plastic Balisong, just like from design and engineering and all of that, yes. Flipping, though, no. Thoughts on the Frank P? Frank P sick? That's about all I can say. The Frank P's sick. It's better than an OG Squiddy. It is better than an OG Squiddy. Way better. Favorite acquisition of 2024 that probably threw him off? True. Could be true. Hello, Pyro. Hello, Mario. Nintendo 3DS comes with an extending stylus. Hello, little stylus. Hello, Mario. Yeah, you could have seen me say it was my favorite acquisition. Because it was. It was one of my favorite Balisongs I got last year just because it's such a fun thing. Or favorite budget, sorry, acquisition. I wish I'd gotten to try the Astro. Mine got taken by customs. Did you? That sucks. Holy shit. That really sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. Is there a Balisong that was a major fail or letdown in your opinion? The Akuma Matata was a big... I can't say it was a letdown. I didn't really have a ton of expectations for it. A Balisong that was a huge fail, like the UFO. The UFO, I think, is a failure of a Balisong. I think the Squiddy OG is a kind of failure of a Balisong now. I didn't think that when I first got it. Even the Necron was a letdown. I don't think the Necron was a fail. I genuinely don't believe the Necron to be a failure. I believe it to be a huge disappointment, but I do not consider it to be a flat-out, like, failure of a Balisong. It is a failure of a price point, not a failure of a Balisong. Believe it or not, the UFO sells like absolutely fucking crazy. That doesn't surprise me, especially with how crazy the Blade Bias video went on the UFO before they age restricted it. Because that video shot up as one of my most viewed, and then they age restricted it, and it has gotten like 100 views since. But it doesn't surprise me that a cheap little plastic thing would be the most expensive. The most expensive, one of the best selling, especially from a company like Flytanium. Are you excited for Blade Show East? Yeah, okay. It looks bad that I have to think that long to answer that question. Yes, of course I'm excited for Blade Show East. Am I excited for dealing with everything surrounding Blade Show East? Like booking flights and getting Airbnb sorted out and figuring out, you know, rides and stuff like that? No, I'm not looking forward to that. But I'm looking forward to Blade Show. Absolutely. The Nikiri had a very rough delivery when it came out. I think the Nikiri was another letdown for me because the balance on the Nikiri wasn't bad. But again, I wouldn't say it was a failure of a Balisong. I can't really off the top of my head think of something that absolutely, like, completely F tier failed as a Balisong entirely. Even something like the Fun Chucks, I couldn't even say are like a failed Balisong because they're technically not a Balisong to begin with. But do you still flip the Glider Bermuda? I do not even own the Glider Bermuda anymore. I don't know. Did I sell the Bermuda? I think I did. I don't even know why I sold it. Looking back on it, I kind of wish I would have kept that thing, but it just kind of became something that I didn't really touch that often. Oh, that's why I sold it, because I bought it. Glider didn't send it to me. I wasn't keen on it enough to keep the $50, $60, whatever I had invested into it. So I sold it off. It was also really the only thing at the time. I honestly completely forgot I even owned one of those things. That was another video that kind of popped off, was the unboxing for that video, or for that Balisong. Glider Bermuda unboxing. When it shot up to, like, I want to say 10K in the first few weeks. People liked the Bermuda. The Bermuda was something else at the time. Back when I used to record when the sun was still out. That's cute. I didn't ask you about any of that, dog, but inherently, part of Blade Show is figuring out all of that. And I'm not excited for that part. Wait, where the fuck? Oh, I changed. Never mind. Necron clone is actually better than the original. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. No, Cringeoid, be excited to see Gang. I am excited. I'm very excited to see Gang. I don't know how Blade Show is going to work this year, considering that I actually have a job now. Do you go out of obligation or because you enjoyed it and want to go? Blade Show is genuinely one of the best experiences of my life, consistently and without fail. There is zero obligation going to Blade Show. In fact, Blade Show is one of those times where I like kind of vacation within the hobby rather than being a YouTuber first. I kind of just become a hobby member first, because like I'm not concerned 100% of my time making videos or doing anything like that. I'm kind of just there to enjoy the hobby and the community. So it's absolutely no obligation whatsoever. It just kind of feels that way because we're so far off that I can't really be excited about the event itself. But Blade Show's it's so sick. It's so sick. Yeah, Ted, I will unironically help you. I can't help you a ton, but I will help you a bit if you need to get to Blade Show. Genuinely, just hit me up. It is the least I could do after everything you've done for me. Because yeah, 650 for the flight alone. That's more. It's probably more than I spend entirely. Back off. I'm just trying to throw in a fund, man. I don't know. My dad swears the price will go down. That's great. Hey, it's Ty. It's the guy that uploaded on Blade Bias the other day. Oh, Ty. Dude, Lucas responded to my story where I posted that you had posted on Instagram. He goes, "Damn, Ty's hair though." That is the first time that Lucas has messaged me about anything in like months. I'm excited for Blade Show this year. I don't think I can't really say. Usually with Blade Show, there's like a whole list of things that I'm like, oh, I want to try this, I want to try this, I want to buy this. I can't really say there's anything that I'm like super into. There's definitely something that's just not coming to mind right now. But yeah, I'm excited as usual. What's your favorite Balisong? Probably the cheese. The cheese or the wing. Yeah. I'm not getting early bird. Oh yeah, no. No early bird for me. I'm lucky if I even make a purchase at Blade Show each year. I got the Damascus Krake in the first year. The second year I didn't even get a Balisong. I got the Provoke Trainer. Last year I got the Sasori, which I kind of wish I didn't get at Blade Show, because like the Sasori, I would honestly sell it off, but it's my Blade Show Balisong, so I don't want to sell it off. I just don't flip the Sasori that often. Squid's prototypes. I can't imagine Squid releasing anything that I would want to buy. Oh, or I mean, try, yes, but did they have anything? I got so many cool Ballies to hand you this year. Do you? I mean, I guess you do, dude. Your collection is always a mystery to me. I never know what Pyro's got stored in the chamber. Damascus Weehawk. That would be sick. I wouldn't buy it, though. That would be sick. Imagine if Titanium made a UFO Pro. It would have to be with a longer blade. New Squiddy AL in the Live Blade Mako. Wait, new Squiddy AL. New Squiddy AL. What's the new Squiddy AL? I know about the Live Blade Mako. In fact, we should talk. They made a Tonto Squiddy AL? Dude, we need a Balisong. We need a Balisong news sub. I tell you what, no one's posting about this stuff. At least I didn't see it. A Tonto bladed. Someone get me a picture of this. I didn't see anything about this. What the fuck? What I do want to see though is the Live Blade Mako. Oh wait, Will and Brandon did a video with Squid Industries of Blade Show. Do they have it here? They do. Okay, hold on, I got you. Creates Balisong news channel. Look inside. No news. There's no news because I don't make videos about the news anymore. So if I got back on the weekly news train, people would pop up in that. Check Discord. Thank you. Holy hell. Okay, you just took from the Will Hirsch video. We're gonna Brandon, I'm sorry, I haven't watched this video yet. So this thing's caused quite a stir. Let's actually talk about this, because this is the first stream we've done since Blade Show, and I haven't really talked about this stuff anywhere else. Squid made kind of a splash. I mean, there's nothing like super crazy going on at Blade Show, Texas. Squid was the only Balisong company there, guys? I know people were saying that at the beginning, but did that actually end up being true, or was there anyone else? But this thing I feel like has caused more controversy than like anything else I've seen. Because I've seen people like uploading videos, like my thoughts on the Live Blade Mako. Cause like some people like it, some people hate it. Some people are just kind of meh about it. Congratulations, people have opinions. I don't know what my point there was. Also, Pyro, before I forget, look at this. Miyada. I got a Miyada. Anyway. Miyada. I'm gonna throw my hat in the ring on this one. I don't like it. I don't hate it like most people do. I really don't like think that it looks awful or whatever, but I do agree with the sentiment that like this loses all of the personality of the Mako. I look at this blade and I don't see Mako. I just see like a Squid Industries blade or like a Hydro Reblade or something like that. The Mako is such a personality driven Balisong. I mean, you look up the Mako and it's like, look at this dude. He's got like the fins and like the shark blade and it's really cool. And it's like, yeah, it's the personality of the Mako. And I look at this and I feel nothing. It looks like an aftermarket reblade. Yeah, it literally, Ted, it reminds me, and I don't mean this as like, I don't mean this to be offensive in any way if that's how it's going to be taken, but this reminds me of the reblade that you got for the Arctic. It's like, it's cool, but it doesn't really like feel like an Arctic anymore. It doesn't feel like the Mako anymore. It just kind of feels like a bland, boring reground, like something you would get from a modder, like Andrew Myers or something. So like, I think it's a great looking blade. I mean, it's clean. It's got like the squid lines in it, but I just wish they put it on anything other than a Mako. They took the one thing in their whole lineup that has like such a strong identity. I did try the live Mako. Wait, you're right. You already did the live Mako. I completely forgot about that. Can I even find this? Blade bias live Mako? A custom Mako. Yeah, dude, I mean, is there a point in this? There it is. I mean, I look at this. Oh, shoot. I look at this and I feel the same thing that I do when I look at this. So I definitely do agree with the people that like... No, I guess you're right. The Tonto does fit it a little better, but I think that's already because the Mako is already a very Tonto shape. But yeah, it's a nice looking blade. Like I said, I actually really do like the blade. I think it would look great on any other handles. But it doesn't. It doesn't look good on the Mako handles. I wish they would have like... I don't know how you do it. I have to be honest with you. I know Kumi, I know you mentioned it earlier, Ted. Kumi uploaded like a redraw of it. I remember seeing that and I remember thinking it looked better, but I couldn't exactly remember why. But yeah, I just wish it had more personality. It had like the essence of the Mako. Anyway, I've ranted about that for way too long. The Hydro Trainer V2 prototype. The Hydro Trainer kind of sucked. I didn't like it. And now they're making it a comb, which is super sick. I like the blade shape a lot more. I hope it flips better than this damn one, because this one kind of sucked. The Hydro already was kind of like when it came to handle weight and chaplains and stuff like that. This thing was even worse. I hated this blade. This blade looks way better. And it's a comb, which is really cool. I hope it flips better. Flip better than that one, but it's still a Hydro, so it doesn't flip good. Fair. As long as it flips better than the other one, sure. I would love it if they could just kind of fix the Hydro overall. Although, I know that some people really like the Hydro, so I don't want to take that away from them. But yeah, I mean, hey, official squid comb. Comb blades are so back. We haven't seen a comb blade. When's the last time we saw a comb blade? Was it really the Orion V1? I think it was. I think it was. Live squid trainer would be pretty cool. That would be pretty cool. I feel like you would do something double-edged for that, though, because it's got like the... No, wait. Sorry, I'm thinking of the double-edged, the Zenith Kraken. Live squid trainer would actually be super sick if they just took that blade shape and made it into a live blade. I'd mess with that. Mentioned that a live Nautilus was in the works when I asked at Blade Show. I don't know how I feel about that. Maybe it could be cool. But this thing looks sick. What in the hell? That looks amazing. But this is another one where it kind of loses. Does it? First of all, I have no idea what's up with this hole cutout. Does the Squiddy AL still work if it doesn't have the cute face? Because like the whole reason I like the Squiddy AL is because you give up, in my opinion, you give up a little bit of flipping performance for like public flippability. This kind of loses you that public flippability, so I'd hope that it flips better than a normal Squiddy AL. I love the aesthetic of it being so blank. It looks like a PS2 low poly Bally. I was gonna say, I think it loses the spirit of the Squiddy AL, but it actually doesn't, because they kept the blade textured like the handles, which I really appreciate. I actually don't mind this. It loses the face, and like, you might say, oh, this loses the personality just as much as the Mako does, but I don't think it does. This looks like a Squiddy AL, just with a different blade. Like, it still feels like the same Balisong to me, just with a slightly more interesting looking blade. If anything, I wish they got rid of the two threaded holes and put the single line. Oh, are these still weight compatible, like the eyes in the Squiddy AL? That's actually really cool if that's the case. Oh, you guys can't even see what I'm here. Sorry, lads. Are these threaded holes like the original? That's interesting if that's the case. They're for the eye weights. Okay, that's awesome. I didn't even think about that when I first saw this. I actually really like that. You can put one here for a little more tip weight, put one here for... Actually, God, if I know what you would really get out of this, but that's cool. The eye weights don't do a ton in my experience, but they do enough. We got the surf. People have been kind of hyping this thing up. It looks pretty. Can't stand people who flip over animals and then turn off story replies. That's sick. I'm being sarcastic. 240, not bad. Yeah, though I've banned people from my Discord for doing that. Fuck people who do that. The surf is very light. I kind of like that. See, but I'm going to do the same thing that I did before. I would like this so much more if they did like the Squid Industries. Just imagine with me for a moment. This doesn't change the functionality of the knife whatsoever. I understand that. But like, what if they did like the holes and the lines that Squid is known for? Like, what if this line, they broke it up with like a few hole cutouts, so it was like the classic Squid pattern, so that you could tell that it was a Squid product, but it was still a knife. Like, that would be really cool. I personally think the perfect place to do it would have been right here. You have like thinner lines and then like a hole cutout right here and then a hole cutout right here. You wanted it to be more basic. I mean, I get that, but why not include the design language that you've incorporated in your knives for so long? He said in the vid it was like that earlier on, but he changed it later. See, I don't get that. You're taking, I guess it's maybe just how my brain's working, but you have a company that's known for this one specific thing, and then you break out of that. Wouldn't you want to be able to tie your design language to that new thing as much as possible in order to try and bring over some interest? Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe that's not how it works at all. Otherwise, it looks like a knife. Like, if we just take this in a vacuum, it looks like a great knife. I really like the simplicity. I love the little just like outline that they have here. I love the fact that it's a button lock. I love the blade profile. I don't know what about the blade profile that I love, but I love it. The thing looks great. And for 200 bucks, I'd be a lot more tempted to buy one of these than I would a Sonora. Even though I fucking love the Sonora. The Sonora is so fucking sick. What's up, Light? Tried that and decided against it. I mean, I haven't seen the design, so I can't really say if it would work or not, but... Wait, what's the... They use bushings in this, right? It's bearings? Never mind. I'm instantly less interested. Oh, that actually really puts a damper on things. Might just be trying hard to appeal to the masses. Listen, I understand completely. I think that's the right call. What I don't think is the right call is not using bushings. Brandon asked him about that in the video. What does he say in response to that? Because the whole thing, as far as I understand, that made the Sonora stand out was the fact that it used bushings in a world where bushings didn't really exist all that much. Like, bushings aren't a super crazy thing to see in folding knives. So when people try the Sonora, they think, holy shit, this is the smoothest knife I've ever felt. And then that's kind of what, like, made it jump up to the top of the chart. So I'm really shocked to see Squid didn't go, like, down a similar route. Because I think it would have just been an easy way for them to stand out. He explains it in the video. Let me look at the transcript. I don't like just watching videos on stream. But I do want to see what he... Do they have transcript disabled? Oh no, I'm just missing the button. Transcript. Surf development breakdown. You know what? I'm just gonna, I want to hear what he says specifically. So let's take a listen to this.
Saw the Sonora and I saw like the reception from like the folding knife crowd, and they just felt this unbelievably smooth action where you don't even feel like any friction.
And it's,
yeah, I mean that was the whole draw. It was incredibly smooth with the high tolerances, because bearings, like, they kind of rattle around. That's inherently what you get with bearings.
buttery smooth. I mean, it's like it's on glass. So nice.
And that's what I love about the Sonora. Even as a Balisong flipper who knows what bushings are, the Sonora was effortless to flick open and flick close. It was like a grain of sand gets in the Sonora and you would feel it. That's how smooth this thing felt.
My head doing a bushing, you guys being a Balisong company with really good bushing ballast.
Maybe he was worried about being called a Machinewise clone. I mean, we'll see what he says. I doubt that's it. Because, I mean, if you're a clone for just copying a pivot system, then every Balisong's a clone of each other.
That, to me, felt like a no-brainer.
It might be hard to get the Sonora hype despite price difference just by not being unique enough. It might be hard to get the Sonora hype even despite price difference. I'm not entirely sure what you mean by that. It might be hard to get the Sonora level of hype despite the price difference just by not being unique enough. So much competition in the aluminum $200 market. See, that's exactly why I would say go for bushings. Because bushings they don't happen that often in the folding knife community as far as I understand it. So if you want like an instant way to stand out in that market, you guys are one of the foremost bushing tuners in the hobby. Say what you want about Squid's bushing tuning, but like they know far more about it than any other knife company would. I'd say Squid used to be a trend setter. Now they're mostly a trend follower. I partially disagree, Ted. They're still like the Swordfish, Squiddy AL. I think they are still pushing new stuff. Which is also why I'm surprised to see them go with just a tried and true method for their first knife. Maybe it's just because they're trying to learn how to make a folding knife in the first place, which is fair.
So that's why I had kind of a raised eyebrow whenever I saw it was on bearings. So
okay, so Brandon has the same idea that I did.
Choosing the pivot mechanism.
I mean, I personally think that bearings are a superior mechanism when it comes to smoothness.
Okay.
Huh. Yeah, I disagree in every conceivable way, but I'm also not a huge folding knife guy. So,
And plus,
fair enough.
I trusted Steve from Skiff Workshop, and This stuff is the best, and I felt like it was another thing that I wanted to try differently. We can definitely make bushing systems, and we've done that well with the butterfly knives we have. I think I just wanted to challenge us in different ways and try something new.
That makes sense then.
Challenge us in different ways, try something new. I don't even know what I just did. Fair enough.
With really good bushing Balisongs, that to me felt like a no-brainer. So that's why I had to kind of a raised eyebrow whenever I, okay, interesting.
And plus, I trusted Steve from SlifT Workshop, and his stuff is the best. And I felt like it was another thing that I wanted to try differently. We can definitely make bushing systems, and we've done that well with the butterfly knives we have. I think I just wanted to challenge us in different ways and try something new.
That makes sense then. It is a smooth action. As you know, implementing a bushing into any product is always going to be a challenge for sure.
Right.
So I'm assuming this is more reliable from a development and like just assembly and manufacturing standpoint than a bushing would be.
Well, I mean, I didn't make the bushing version, so I have no idea.
That's true.
It could have been easier, but I have no idea.
I feel like it also would be easier considering how tuned, like dialed in Squid is with bushings.
As you guys continue to develop this kind of stuff, maybe that's a direction you'll go into.
I would love to see them make a bushing knife because, again, I think that's a huge reason why the Sonora took off like it did. Yeah, I mean, it's a disappointing answer to hear because bearings are quick and feel smooth and folding knives. They're quick and they feel smooth, but ultimately, all the bearings I've ever tried, besides zippy bearings, always eventually feel kind of rattly because you have inherently moving parts. You have a bearing is not one solid piece. It's a bunch of little balls sandwiched in between two other pieces of metal at its most simple construction. So like eventually you are going to feel a grind. You are going to feel you know, instability or whatever. And sure, you can say the same thing for bushings, but I feel like bushings are just so much easier to keep that smoothness going for a long time. I mean, my Machinewise products over here that are on bushings still feel as smooth as the day I got them pretty much, and I've taken them apart multiple times. I don't think that would be the case if they were on bearings. So it's a disappointing thing for me to hear personally. I mean, I'm not going to fucking throw my pitchforks up in the air and say, I'm going to boycott Squid, but I think it would have been really cool to see them kind of follow in Machinewise's footsteps with that one. Because, I mean, yeah, just look at the reviews of the Sonora on Machinewise. Ooh, they have like a change log. That's cool. Like that. But yeah, bushing pivot. Also, the Sonora is $700 now. Holy. Do we know how long they've been developing the Surf? It's been at least 6 months, I want to say. I know Lucas showed off a very early prototype. I think you can see a very early prototype of the Surf in one of the videos where he was showing off Blade Show exclusives. It might have been the Squiddy XL, something like that. I remember there was something off to the side that people found and was like, hey, that's a folding knife. Or maybe that was something different. I think it's been at least 6 months. Yeah, same price as the Seraph, but like 200 more Sonoras exist than the entirety of Seraphs in 1 year. Dude, it's been insanely successful for them. I am not a folding knife guy, so it's difficult for me to understand why someone would want to spend $700 on that. Just as a folding knife person would find it difficult to spend $700 on a Seraph. It's just reversed. Holding a surf right now, super smooth. Skiffs are known to hold up phenomenally. Most bearing Balisongs or knife are upgraded to skiff bearings. Yeah, I've tried a skiff. I think I tried a skiff Talisong. It was pretty good. Bearings in the surf have some that are offset differently. I wonder if that reduces the effect you're describing. Maybe. Would you want to try it after our first temp trade? A surf? I can't really say I'd be interested in temp trading for a surf. Well, how would you even... I would throw it in my pocket for a day and cut stuff with it, I guess. But like, I'd really just want to feel the action once or twice, and I can wait until Blade Show for that. Reviews by big knife reviewers on YouTube have to go crazy. Oh yeah, they do. Dude, if you go on YouTube and look up the Sonora. Wow, not as crazy as I thought. Oh my god, it's me. I mean, you get a freaking thumbnail from this, from Metal Complex.
What's going on YouTube?
Sorry, man. 700,000 subscribers. Yeah, you're looking at a thumbnail like that. It may only have 18,000 views, but all of those 18,000 people are instantly tuned into the fact that this is something to keep an eye on. Here we go. 80,000 views from a channel with only 320,000 subscribers. What? Is John still uploading? Kind of. I feel like if they did bearings, it would have been priced more like a Kraken. They would have gotten eaten alive. You mean bushings? Yeah, Machinewise prices are steep. It's a shame they don't have like their budget. Like the Prisma used to be so good because you could spend so little to feel that Machinewise experience, and it would be so awesome. Does anything on YouTube exist about the surf yet? I think Blade Show was the first time they've sold it. I'd be insanely surprised. Let's check. Squid Industries Surf. No. No, you look up Squid Industries, you just get buried by Squid Industries Balisong reviews. The only video about the surf is the Will Hirsch video that we just briefly watched. Also, did Brandon host that whole video? Oh, he did. Wow. First thing you'll notice with the surf is how light it is. Oh, I bet. I mean, look back at those specs. What was it? Like 2 ounces? 2.8 ounces. Yeah, that's... Although it is a smaller object. I don't know. Been out of the loop for like 8 months. Just bought a Seraph again, number 5. What's the highlight of the past half year? Highlights of the past half year. The Create with Nibali stuff came out. The Kite is coming out. The cheese. I mean, I think like if you're looking for highlights in the past half a year, Nibali's. It's mostly just Nibali's stuff. Everyone else seems like they've kind of been winding down. I mean, Squid's released like new colors and stuff like that, but unless you're talking about things that just happened this past weekend at Blade Show, it's Nibali's. Like Nibali's has the Teflon Vulp, the cheese. Now it's got the Reverie, the Bird of Prey, the Overlord. They've got the Vault Pro Live Blade. You do have BB Barfly. The Barracuda, I think, was a highlight of the past half a year. I mean, what else was there? It's really difficult to come up with Balisong highlights lately, as sad as that sounds. Even if I just go through and look at the recent Blade Bias videos that I've made. The Astra came out. That was pretty good. The Series V4 came out. That was pretty mid in my opinion, but still pretty good. You've got things like the Shino, which are pretty sick. The Frank came out. Thomas made the default. Flipforge made the palette. Yeah, I think that's most of it. What's up, Mystic? How you doing? I see you've been streaming lately. That's pretty cool to see. Squid released a surf so fast, I feel like they really need it to be successful. I think most Balisong companies are struggling right now, as sad as it is to say, so I wouldn't be surprised if they do need it. Aster by Thomas, yeah. Next to my Zyzix, the surf looks like Ethan will when standing next to me in person at Blade. Are you tall? I feel like I should know this. Ted, you give off the energy. I don't know. Take this however you want. You give off the energy of either a really, really tall person or someone who you wouldn't know is like 5'1". And there's no in between. Ted is either 6.5 feet or 5 foot flat. And he's 6.5 feet. Awesome. Sick. Ted does not... Oh, that's going to be weird. Ted's taller than Ty. That's weird. I always imagine Ted is like in between me and Ty. Damn, dude. Streaming's been the only thing keeping me flipping for me fun as of recently. Dude, I mean, I'm happy to hear you've got something. It's really nice to watch someone on YouTube who just rips. Because like as good as some of the YouTuber flippers are, I don't think there's, now that James Hill doesn't really upload like he used to, there's no one on YouTube to watch who just rips on a Balisong. Like just pulls out the sickest shit you've ever seen while recording a video. So seeing your streams where you're just kind of ripping the craziest shit I've ever seen in my life and then just kind of talking is sick. I've been saying it for quite a while now that it would be really nice to have a YouTuber who can do that, who's just fucking cracked at flipping, but also can just talk about it while they're flipping like that. I think it's a really interesting perspective, especially coming from someone like me who can fucking barely flip compared to you. You remember the fridge stream? What's up, Buddha? The Astra looks insane. The Astra's fun. Why doesn't No-Lube get more attention? Bro released a library that has Orca stats but flips better and is only 350. No-Lube has the Chione. I don't know why. I don't even know No-Lube. That's probably not even how you pronounce it. No-Lob. Great stuff. I think I've tried a Chione and I liked it. I don't know why. It's kind of like EPS for me, where I know it's good stuff, but it just doesn't interest me that much. That's kind of how EPS's stuff has been for me lately. Glad folks find it enjoyable, something chill. Yeah, for sure. I didn't even know James Hill posted on YouTube. Yeah, it was probably some of my favorite content back in the day. I say back in the day like it was that long ago. But when was his last video? Yeah, 7 months ago. There was a period of like maybe a month or two where James would upload pretty consistently. Like actual full videos. Yeah, January 8th, 2023, he was flipping. And then his next video was January 23rd. Okay, so maybe not as often as I said, but he still uploaded quite a bit. Did he do... I thought he did a video where... Did he delete a few videos? He might have. I thought I remember seeing a video of him where he was sitting on the couch. Oh no, here they are. It's just different thumbnails. Yeah, he'd upload like... Oopsies. He'd upload like full videos of him just sitting on his couch. Fucking going crazy on this shit. It's just really fun to see like a head-mounted video from someone who talks about Balisongs in a similar way that I do. But then when he starts flipping, you know, he just has such control over it. I guess this isn't really the best example of what I'm talking about, but yeah, just effortlessly pulls that shit out. Also, SlifT, hell yeah. I think maybe the Hades review might be a better example of... Yeah, I mean, he just makes it look so effortless. Yeah, it's hypnotizing. I think this is an incredibly underutilized side of our hobby. Having a dude, because like he's doing like combo Instagram post worthy shit right now, and I bet if I unmute this, he's just talking.
Like, okay, what could I improve on?
Yeah, he's just
and
talking.
For me, how this works is that whenever I'm trying to film, I try and get the best.
It's sick. I really, really wish there were more YouTubers like that. James is so cool. I remember the first time I met him, I told him he wasn't James Hill and he had to do doubles to prove he was James. I'm James Hill. No, you're fucking not. I wonder, you know, the Balisong community being very faceless a lot of the time, because a lot of people don't show their face when they do their flipping clips. I wonder how many times that does happen. Like how many times someone would go to Blade Show and they'd be like, yeah, dude, I'm who's a faceless YouTuber I can think of. Of course, I just say that a lot of people are faceless. I don't know. Hey, I'm Mystic. I don't know. And someone's like, I don't believe you. So they have to like pull out their signature Balisong or like their signature combo or whatever. That, I wonder how often that happens. Alternatively, I wonder how often people claim to be someone that they're not. I'm gonna have to think about that, but I will be right back. Talk amongst yourselves about fucking, I don't know, how sick it would be if there was a Blade Show North and how few people would go to that. Blade Show Canada. Okay, genuine question now. Here's what I want to know. Where would Blade Show North be? Blade Show North, Blade Show Northeast, whatever you want to call it. What state would it be in? And where would it be in terms of like turnout? Because right now, if you had to rank Blade Shows in terms of turnout, I would say, and I think most people would say, it goes east, west, Texas. So at what position would this theoretical Blade Show North be? Ohio. I was actually thinking Ohio. I think Ohio would be a pretty good. You know, let's pull up a map. Let's look at this. Let's bring out the facts, okay? Texas was actually a noticeably larger show than West show size. Balisong specifically, I mean, Brandon. Okay, so I've got this map of America here. We got Blade Show Texas kind of somewhere down here. I don't actually, it's in, where is it, Houston? I think it's bad that I actually couldn't label Houston on an unlabeled map. I've never been to Blade Show. Is it in different places every year? So you've got Blade Show East, which is down here. I gotta change the color. Blade Show East, which is somewhere in this general vicinity. You've got Blade Show West, which is somewhere, I'm not going to get the exact position of them, but somewhere in that general vicinity, I think. And then you've got Blade Show Texas, which is, you know, somewhere fucking in here. I don't know. Where would the best place for Blade Show North to be? See, like, in my head, I immediately think somewhere in Ohio, because then you get kind of the people from Maine and, like, up here in the Northeast. You get the people from these states up here. I guess Montana. I guess someone like Ted would be more likely to go over here. And I guess Ohio is, like, real close to Blade Show East. So maybe somewhere in, like, Iowa. Someone said Chicago in chat. We also have to think about knife laws, because we don't want a situation like Blade Show West had the one year where they had it in California and then everyone got arrested on the way out. Chicago's not a bad shout. Chicago's what, like up here on the lake? It kind of balances everything out. You still kind of get this area up here coming from here. You get, these guys can pick either Blade Show. Yeah, Blade Show California was crazy. Just ask Pyro about that one. I see Iowa, though. I keep looking. Iowa is kind of staring at me because it kind of makes like this square shape that looks kind of the most even. But then, I mean, I'm kind of thinking about myself as well. If I'm up here in New York, you know, I'm flying to Iowa, it almost seems like it'd be the same distance to just go down to Georgia like usual. So I don't know, man. I think this is why there isn't a Blade Show North, because I don't really think there's a good place for it to be. We've got kind of this arc. You could go to like Minnesota, but who's flying to Minnesota? And again, you go from New York, it's like the same distance. Actually, I think it might be shorter to Georgia. Chicago would make sense to me. You guys are feeling Chicago? I think Chicago's the best that we have. I think Chicago's probably the play. Big enough city. Hopefully the knife laws aren't that crazy there. It's just, I think the problem with anything in kind of this area is that you're just kind of close to Georgia already. Like if I'm flying out from California, flying out to Illinois is going to be the same as flying out to Georgia. So like, I don't really know if there's a benefit there. Maybe, I don't know. US is wider than it is tall, so having east and west makes sense instead of north and south. Yes, totally. It's just in that context that it doesn't make sense to me that there's a Blade Show Texas. Texas wants to be their own country, so it makes sense that they had their own. Sioux Falls, South Dakota. That would definitely even things out in the shape department. I think Sioux Falls is somewhere in one of the corners of the Dakotas. I mean, yeah, that definitely evens things out. But I think, like I said, I think we're finding out the reason that this doesn't exist, because anytime you have, like, this option, I mean, I'd rather just go to Utah at that point. What's up, Buffness? As a northern Illinoiser, Chicago would be awesome, but the problem is strict knife laws. Does Illinois have strict knife laws? Illinois seems like one of those fuck-off states that just doesn't have crazy knife laws. I guess Chicago would. Yeah, I don't know. I guess we're kind of learning why there isn't a Blade Show North. I think any option that you could pick up here, you would rather just go to east or west. Or, I guess I had those backwards. East or west. Illinois has strict laws for everything. Realistically, though, how much would it take to make a Blade North happen? Probably a lot. Or they would have done it by now. I mean, everything that exists in this world probably would have been done if it was actually worth doing. Not actually, but you know the point I'm trying to make. If they wanted to do it, if they thought it would be a good idea, they probably would have. Now, here's the real question. Let's say, because everyone seems to agree, let's say it actually is in Chicago. Where do we think it ranks? I'll take two answers. One for Blade Show attendance overall, and then two, Balisong flippers specifically. Because I think if we label these, we got 1, 2. Wow, that was a bad 2. Holy shit. We got 1, we got 2, we got 3, we got 4. If I had to rank them in order, in terms of Blade Show attendance overall, it would probably be 3, 2, 1, 4. And then Balisong specifically, it would probably be 3, 1, 2, 4. You guys can't see that. Bigger than Texas, but smaller than West. So you're saying 3142. Is Blade Show mostly non-Balisong stuff? Oh, yeah, absolutely. Blade Show is almost entirely non-Balisong stuff. Balisongs take up a small little corner in one of the 2 rooms. 3142. 4 is so high because they got fuck all else to do there. Do Northerners care about knives that much, though? Maybe that's another thing. Like, maybe it's like a knife culture thing. Because I feel like in the US, you could kind of like draw a line for like stereotypical knife enjoyers, and that line probably looks. Oh wait, why did I feel like you just draw a line, and like anyone below this line typically likes knives, and anyone above this line typically don't care about knives. I'm just babbling at this point. I'm not saying anything of actual value. Yeah, Balisongs are tiny. Let me try and pull up the map. Blade Show 2024 map. Yeah, okay, here we go. Let me just show you how much Balisongs are. This is Blade Show. So let me just, I'm using snipping tool so I can actually draw. This is Blade Show. This is the whole, you know, get up. This is the whole venue. This is the main room, right? Right here. And this over here, this area right here is the secondary room. Balisongs take up right down here. And then there's also like maybe like one table in here that's Balisongs. I think there was where's like, where is BRS? I think like BRS was like somewhere over here. And then you had up here, you had like KPL or like Adam Heibel or something. Like that's it. Oh yeah, Fly Tie. I don't remember where Flytanium was though. They were like in the corner somewhere because we went there to get the free fly swatters that they sent out. I don't remember where Fly Tie was, but let's just like, yeah, there you go. That's Balisongs. You have the main Balisong area is right here. Is these two singular rows down here. I mean, you can see. You got, I can't see my cursor. I got Squid Industries right here, Squid Industries, Hom, Heibel, EPS, Machinewise. And then like over here, maybe like, I think right here was, why can't I think of his name? Paul. What's his? Shop Sweat. Shop Sweat, and then you had like Shop Sweat that was LDY. I think like you had Fellowship up there somewhere, and then that was like pretty much it. ELB was in the blue area. Yeah, ELB was like somewhere in there. Titanium was upper left. I'm just not seeing them. But yeah, Balisongs, tiny fraction. The main, what you really care about, because like most of the Balisong people will go into the main room like maybe half of one day and they'll check out Fly Tie or BRS or whatever. Your main Balisong area is these two rows right down here, and that's where all the Balisong flippers are. That's about it. This is where all the magic's happening with Balisong. So Blade Show, I think a lot of newer flippers especially think that Blade Show is like this specifically Balisong thing. It is not. Balisongs could leave Blade Show and cause no impact on the rest of the show overall. There might just be like a slightly empty corner, but I'm sure they could sell those tables pretty easily. The rest is just a bunch of regular knives. So the rest would be, you know, anything with a blade. You've got, some people are making swords, some people are making knives. You got big knife manufacturers, you've got small knife manufacturers making like their custom stuff. Knife oil, knife accessories. I think there were even some booths that just like weren't knife related at all. For some reason I remember like maybe like a roofing company being there or something. Maybe I'm crazy. Could be crazy on that one. But Oh yeah, some sell materials. That's a good point. Over the years, has Balisong presence at Blade Show increased or declined? I think that Blade Show that I just showed you is the most impactful Balisongs have ever been. In terms of owning, yeah, guns as well. In terms of like having space at Blade Show and having like a presence, I think that was the biggest that Balisongs have been. Balisong presence at Blade Show Texas was quite a bit less this year compared to 2024. I wonder how many Balisong companies tried to make it to Texas and then realized that it might not have been worth it. As sad as that is to say. Guns don't have blades, what's the point? Knife people, gun people, kind of an overlapping demographic there. Have you flipped the Sirius V4 trainer? I have not. And I don't necessarily plan on it. I'd probably just hang around that one corner. Don't get me wrong, that tiny little corner is still a very large section. So there's plenty of places to like sit down and hang out with other people over there. But I just want to give you a sense of how small we are overall in the grand scheme of Blade Show. And then there's the pit. The pit is probably the best thing that, if you want Balisongs, that's the pit. After the show, we go to like a hotel lobby and just hang out. The pit last year, I think, is the biggest the pit's ever been. Easily. Did you see what Bally Jesus did to a honeycomb superfly? I didn't. Let's take a look. Am I still logged into Instagram? Yes, I am. Holy shit, people are finding Transformers and I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous of them. First thing I see, Ironhide, Wheeljack. Oh, the reissue of Jazz. I mean, I have Jazz back there. So the pit is a flipping place? Yeah, basically. It's where we all go to hang out after the show's over. Bally Jesus. Oh, damn. That is freaking slick. That is really cool. It's like Toxic, but without the ugly ass colors. Oh, it seems like this is an official, like he did this for BB Barfly themselves. That is awesome. So excited for you to try the Zippy Live Blade Hexfly. Literally right over there. I just got to open it. Adriana says hello. Hi. Hi. Hi, Adriana. 2024 pit was crazy. 2024 pit was insane. 2024 pit, like you look at the 2024 pit and then you look back at the room that we used to be in. I don't know how we all fit in that tiny little room. I really don't. Because you look at videos from 2024 pit and there is just so many people. I mean, the whole outside of that room was filled. I didn't know that was possible. Yeah, I didn't either. It's probably not a Toxic. It's probably some different method that he used, but it looks amazing. Reminds me of fish. Yeah. The fish tank pebbles, like the blue and the purples. Are BB Barfly's knives bulky at all? It depends on the model you're looking for. If I pull up BB Barfly's website really quick here. You've got the Superfly, which isn't bulky. You've got the Barracuda V2, which also isn't terribly bulky. The Firefly is bulky. It's pretty thick. So it depends what you're looking for. How long does the pit last until we get bored or kicked out? Usually 10 or 11. I want to see even later than that. I think I remember hearing about some people last year who stayed at the pit all night until the show opened again. Thinking about getting either a Barracuda or a Sirius V4 trainer. Unless the Sirius V4 trainer is like way better than the Live Blade, I would say get a Barracuda. The Barracuda is fantastic. I love the Barracuda. But yeah, the Firefly is generally thick. The Barracuda V2 I wouldn't say is slim. It's definitely thicker than some Balisongs, but it's not like chunky by any means. And then the Superfly is their most like normal feeling Balisong. Finishing up the Barracuda V2 review this week? Hell yeah. Can't find a single video of the Sirius V4 trainer. I don't think LDY sent it out to people. Ghost Flipping. Ghost Flipping got a trainer.
What's up, everybody?
One day ago. So if you're looking for a video on it, there's that one. Ghost has grown so much. Ghost has been... Yeah, this is about what I expected. Ghost has grown a shit ton, but unfortunately the viewership hasn't grown with him. Because he's been... I mean, I don't want to say abusing, because abusing sounds like a bad thing, but like at the same time he kind of has been. He's been just getting crazy views on his streams, like insanely good views on his streams, which has led to all of the subscriber growth, which is really interesting to see. It's interesting to see a Balisong stream format take off like that, especially in some of the earlier days. It's definitely cooled off now. He's not getting like the 50 to 70,000 views that he was getting. Like, look at the early days. You got 158, 102, 135, 140. So he's just been taking advantage of getting pushed in the YouTube Shorts algorithm. How often do you usually stream? This is the first time I've ever watched a stream of yours. So before, I would say once a week. I mean, if you watch me back in the glory days, it was like once every 2 days, but I'd say nowadays it's more like once every 2 weeks. It's not terribly often. I would like it to be more often, but yeah, Ghost has... I think it's something to do with the fact that YouTube Shorts, like, I can scroll past and it will put me in a live stream, and then I think you count as a viewer in that live stream, which then means that it will recommend you to even more people, and it kind of has this, like, big growth effect. I don't know that for sure, but he's definitely been using that to get his insane growth. It's crazy. He's twice the size of me, and how long has he been doing this? 2 months? I think it was Christmas he started doing this. Yeah. Ish. Right before Christmas, sorry. So, yeah, it's crazy to see a Balisong channel shoot up like that. I remember I caught that one Blade Bias stream. I need to do more of those. I said I was going to do more of those. I was thinking about, I don't think I'd ever do this, but I've always kind of thought about if I introduce channel memberships to Blade Bias, which won't happen, don't worry, I'm not actually planning on doing this. But like if I were to introduce channel memberships, what would the reward be? And I was thinking maybe doing those live streams for like members only or something. But then it would just be like 5 people. So I don't know. I would like to do those streams more often. What's the difference between streaming on Blade Bias and here? So this is my channel. This is where I just sit in front of the camera and talk, and you have to look at my ugly mug all stream. The Blade Bias streams are specifically like what you see on Blade Bias. So I strap a camera to my head and I stream from that camera. I've only done it once. Also audience, Blade Bias is an inherently bigger channel, so you get more people just from the wider community who will come into a stream like that. But you can see the Blade Bias live that I did was a typical Blade Bias video, but live. Also with fucking awful bitrate. So Blade Bias is more about, you know, throwing a camera on my head and doing the same thing that I normally do. Whereas these are more face-to-face interactions.
If that worked. Opened it up to the public. I believe it was Miles Kaufman, his YouTube.
God, the bit rate on this stream is actually awful. I don't think I've ever seen how bad this is before.
You consider a Balisong a fidget toy. I consider a trainer a fidget toy. I consider a live blade a tool that you
Damn,
can
I was
also
actually good at
play
flipping
with.
back then. Coming for the future of that channel. Yeah, Brandon, wishing you the best, dude. I hope it is a smooth transition. I'm sure it will be. You're a natural. You're a natural at this stuff. Yeah, I have no idea, Ted. It's difficult. The Blade Bias stream, it was difficult to keep up with every single chat message like I do here. Even, although I'm even bad at keeping up with every single chat message in these streams. I think people were talking about social anxiety with Blade Show earlier. I mean, I'm not someone who like has crippling social anxiety, but I certainly have my introverted tendencies. I think it's so much easier to be socially outgoing in a place where you know that everyone has the same hobby as you. Because a difficult thing for me when it comes to like small talk and conversation is not knowing what someone's into and not being able to make that connection. So having that connection just straight off the bat, I've found to be a really easy way to kind of get your feet in the water with talking to more people. And at Blade Show, you were just surrounded by people who, excuse me, have a common interest. Videos like the BB Superfly, Glider Pacific won't be on the Will Hurst channel moving forward. See, that's sad. This is the most Bally community interaction I've had in weeks. Yeah, that kind of happens when you go private. How's that been, Ted? Has it been good? Have you been enjoying like the break of sorts? Won't be making videos like that for the channel moving forward. Yeah, I think that's something that I'm gonna miss. I kind of see this as like, if what you're describing is how I envision it, that you're not going to be hosting your own videos anymore. It's kind of like when Ty left Blade Bias. It's like, I think it's going to be freaking like very sad to like the identity of the channel. Like, it's not going to ruin it by any means, but something that made the channel what it is no longer going to be there, which is always sad. Ethan Ben. Hey, I'm kind of curious what it's like to take a step back. It must be a little nice. As much as I do love this community, it has to be a little nice taking a step back from the community as a whole. It'll be a change and will mean the video output for the Will Hurst channel would basically drop off a cliff. Less videos than we're already getting. Ooh, if I'm thinking back to my 2025 prediction stream, I made a prediction that this year was going to be amazing for content creators. Or amazing for the content side of the hobby. And now I'm looking at this and I'm kind of wanting to change that prediction. Uh-oh. Still not entirely working, keeping my name from growing / getting more followers. I keep having to ask people not to tag me anymore in pocket dumps, but I also feel bad not reposting something. Yeah, it's a tough balance to strike. We're getting dude, I need to get going on my main channel. I said my New Year's resolution was to revive my main channel. I've done nothing. Overall, it's just been like my content production in 2025 has kind of dropped off a cliff. Blade Bias isn't bi-daily anymore. I don't stream once a week anymore, and there's nothing on the main channel. I need to kick it in high gear. I'm sorry, guys. I genuinely am. Is Camaro EE your main channel? Yes, this is my main channel. Size doesn't matter to me. This will always be where I put my high effort, high quality videos over something like Blade Bias. Brandon, how... I won't get into it any more than if you don't want to, that's okay. But how soon will this change be affecting things? Like, do you have like a timeline for when we can expect to see your channel kind of light up a little bit more, or no? I totally understand not putting a timeline out there, especially me of all people. But yeah, Cryos, or not Cryos, Cyros. High effort stuff here, head mounted stuff over there. Besides close friends and main account, that backfired a lot, announcing I'm mostly going to talk on main because now 100+ people I've never had a conversation with followed my main. Yeah, that... I don't need people finding my main Instagram. I wouldn't want that. I very much so enjoy the separation that I have between personal life and YouTube. And if that separation didn't exist, God, I would have quit 2 years ago. And we expect kind of up in the air right now, but basically by the end of March is when the transition will take place. Gotcha. I'm kind of excited to see the Brandon channel light up a little bit more. I'm also interested to see how you'll be changing things. Maybe some more streams. I don't know. Just me. That's just me. I want to see more people streaming. We got Mystic. We got me. We got... I'm not even going to say me. I don't really stream that much anymore. We got Mystic. We got Ghost. Does anyone else stream in the Bally community? What did I just want to... Oh, right. Made this decision Monday night, so have to follow up on some final decisions for things. There'll be an official announcement if I start my own channel and really push for it. But I have to make that decision on if that makes the most sense for me to pursue. Gotcha. Well, no matter what happens, I'm looking forward to seeing where you go. I'm sure it'll be great. With you, it always is. Speaking of Brandon content, podcasts maybe later this week. It depends when I get around to putting it together. Because there's a few edits that I have to go through and make in it. But podcast definitely before the end of March, and then we'll... I think it would be good to see... I think it would be good to say that podcasts are going to come back to being kind of a monthly thing. Unless Brandon's step back also affects other things in Balisongs. Which, if that happens, totally understandable. Just took off from Atlanta. I'm on my way to Brazil. About halfway through my travel there. Been going since 6 a.m. Jeez, dude. Safe travels. I hope your time in Brazil is great. And we'll see you while you're there, if I'm remembering your announcement correctly. Gotta head out. See ya, Hop. Have a good one. Bye, Ethan in chat. Thanks for creating a semi-normal portion of the community. We are anything but. No, have a good one, Della. Appreciate you hanging out. Still 100% on board with the Blade Bias podcast. Dope. So we'll keep that coming out. I will put out the March episode probably later this week. Let me see when was the last episode. I've been sitting on it for a little bit because I wanted to wait until the old podcast had its time to sit in the sun. Because we did have 2 rapid fire episodes right next to each other. When did I upload this? February 10th. Okay, so we're overdue. Yeah, I'll upload one soon. Flipping my Canyon, it came this morning. Dude, congrats. I hope you're enjoying it. I'll still be doing Will Hurst channel related things 2 to 3 days a week, so I'm not going anywhere. Well, I know you're talking about like figuring out what makes the best financial sense for you. So I totally would understand if you wanted to just restrict your Balisong stuff to like part-time Will Hirsch stuff and then not really do much else. That would totally make sense. But I am happy to hear ultimately that doesn't seem to be the case. Ethan makes podcast announcing podcast is ending. Doesn't upload until 5 months after it ends. That's how you get them. No, the podcast isn't going anywhere. We took a little hiatus. But assuming I can get my ass back into gear, we'll be back into once a day. Or once a day. Jesus Christ. We'll be back into like once a month kind of upload consistency. I can bring my Squiddy on a plane tomorrow and TSA won't be mad at me. It's kind of hit or miss. Sometimes they might have a problem with it. Squiddies I've generally seen they don't have a huge problem with, but they still could. It is always a possibility. How do y'all feel about these 3 potential channel names? Blade and Beyond, Brandon and Beyond, Balisongs and Beyond. Balisongs and Beyond rolls off the tongue better, but I like Blade and Beyond better. Like, I like conceptually Blade and Beyond. I know you asked for chat. I'm going to throw in my hat into the ring because I'm the stupid egotistical streamer who thinks everyone cares about his opinion. Balisongs and Beyond rolls off the tongue better. Brandon and Beyond creates a better brand for you. Blade and Beyond, I like the concept of the best, but it also doesn't feel very full. I feel like if you want to go with Blade and Beyond, you'd have to add something else. Like Bed Bath and Beyond, Bed Blade and Beyond. That makes more sense if you have like the 2 syllables before the Beyond. Brandon and Beyond gives off more of a not so Balisong focused vibe, whereas Balisongs and Beyond kind of gives a better example of like mostly Balisongs but also some other stuff, but then you're also kind of failing to create a brand for yourself because then it's just Balisongs and Beyond. It's not really like a brand. I don't know. Channel focus on Balisongs, all types of pocket knives, swords, podcasts, anything additional I want to talk about, potential videos about video games and movies. So, correct me if I'm wrong, Brandon. Kind of like what I've been doing with Blade Bias, but like with a bigger emphasis on like other blades. Because I've got bonus bias that I kind of talk about. Bally, Blade, and Beyond. I kind of like that. Although I feel like it should be 1 syllable, 1 syllable, 2 syllables. Give more context. I really want to expand beyond Balisong related content, have it still be based in being a Balisong person, but talking about more knives and EDC gear in general. I think conceptually then I like Blade and Beyond best. Balisongs and Beyond isn't bad either. Brandon's Blades and Beyond. Balisong's Bizarre. Brandon's Bizarre Beyond. Brandon's Blades and Beyond. It's not bad. Brandon's Blades and Balisongs. Too focused. He doesn't, I don't think he wants to lock himself into that. If I had to pick one, I personally would choose Blade and Beyond. I like that one best as well, considering the idea you're going for the channel. What about Beyond Blades? I guess Beyond Blades does kind of imply more like focused elsewhere. Brandon's Bizarre. I do like Brandon's Bizarre. I can't lie. I like that one. Welcome back to Brandon's Bizarre. Today, we're taking a look at the Squid Industries Surf. Beyond Blades was one I considered too. It kind of sounded like a knife company. That's fair. Beyond Blade bias. Hell yeah. Now we're cooking, chat. I kind of like Brandon's Bazaar. Is that bad? Brandon's Bazaar kind of goes hard. It's like you're peddling. You know, here are my wares. Today we're going to look at this part of my wares. Brandon has wares if you have coin, you know. Although if you do Brandon's Bazaar, you kind of got to get a set, I feel like. Oh, you could get like a really sick like shop front set, and that's where you shoot all your videos. This is going way beyond anything that you wanted, I know, but very hard to tell people how to spell and to search. You and your easy searchability. Fun fact, chat, Brandon and Will actually came to me back when we like first became aware of each other. I want to say it was back around the time that they asked me to film a few clips for the Arctic video that they did, the Arctic review. They came to me and they were like, dude, we really like your channel, but like, are you gonna rebrand anytime soon? Because like you're starting to gain traction. I think you could really benefit from being more easily searchable. And I was like, no, not planning on it. Thanks for the suggestion though. And I think ever since that day, they've wanted me to rebrand. Something to think about. Brandon's Broad Beyond. That's kind of getting to tongue twister territory. Brandon Bally Bazaar. Valley Bazaar would be a fun, like, that's a fun series name. Brandestro. Brandestro EE. Blade Brandestro EE. Think about it. Think about that one. Brando songs. Brando songs. What's the EE for in Camaro EE? Back in the day when I made the name, it was a performance version of the Camaro called the Camaro SS. So the EE is the Camaro SS, but instead of SS, it's EE because my name is Ethan, so I replaced the letter. Blade Bias is still a banger name to me. Blade Bias, dude. Because Blade Bias was suggested. It was a community suggestion. It was Miles Kaufman, if I remember correctly, who suggested that. I don't know if he's still in the community or not. I can't believe how close we were to Blade Bias, like Ty and I discussing names back and forth, and we just never came up with it. Because I remember distinctly thinking about handle bias and maybe even neutral bias, but like Blade Bias just never came up. I have no idea how we didn't come up with it, but it's such a banger. I owe that whole channel success to Miles, basically, for coming up with a name that's actually genuinely good. Ty would have to confirm though, but I'm pretty certain I remember Ty and I discussing both handle bias and neutral bias, but we just didn't think to go further. I don't know why. It was right there. We could have picked the fruit, but we got there eventually. One of the things keeping me from doing Blade and Beyond is it mildly feels like it's stepping on the toes of Blade Bias. I don't feel that way at all. Just as one of the people who runs Blade Bias, I personally don't feel that at all. Because you've got the BB, but like BB isn't a part of our brand at all. So like I don't. Blade and Beyond, Blade Bias. I mean, yeah, you got Blade, but there would be those random people who say it is. You're right. The internet would be like, oh, Blade bias or Blade and beyond. What about Blade bias? Isn't there a YouTuber named Handle Bias? Yeah, someone made a YouTube channel called Handle Bias. Does he get comments about? No. Well, I mean, I did just only click on one video, but okay, actually funny enough, if you click on one of his videos, you've got this guy that says handle bias is greater than blade bias. And this guy says if blade bias exists, there should be handle bias. I feel like if that guy doesn't get hassled about it, then you definitely wouldn't. Handle harmony, edge neutral. Yeah, I guess ChatGPT didn't exist back when Ty and I made blade bias. I want to say my dad suggested a name that we almost went with. His profile picture's eerily similar to blade bias's as well. Is it? I didn't even notice. Oh yeah, no, literally. It's like the segmented with two Balisongs on either side. That's funny. That is actually kind of funny. Brando Expando. Things that you can call your YouTube channel and say in bed. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's a good point, Ted. Brandon, I feel like you do have to go with like BB something, because that's your initials. Brandon Baker, Blade and Beyond, BB. Name it Brandon squared. We got blade bias at home, That's what I liked about all those names is the BB aspect. Yeah, I feel like you got to go with the BB aspect. Open each video with "What's up, BBs?" Oh man, oh man, oh man. That is... That's crazy. You know, Brandon, I'm thinking about... I don't know if you'd be interested in being a part of this. I'm thinking about... I talked to you about a project a very long time ago, like 2 years at this point, that had a name that you really liked. I'm thinking about actually starting it up. I'm also thinking about having you host an episode or two if you wanted to. Or even be a slightly consistent host. We can talk about it later, but that's been on my mind lately. The thing that scared me off from doing that series in the first place was how much like I had built it up in my head to be like this like produced thing. I don't think it needs to be. So I think I'm just gonna start simple, just like get it going, and then we'll go from there. Yeah, let's chat about it. Sounds good. New channel by Ethan? No, not a new channel. It would just be something that goes on Blade Bias. I've had an idea for a series for a long time. Kind of actually loops back to something I said earlier in the stream. But it wouldn't be a new channel or anything. Unless it started to get, like... I could see maybe a future where it becomes, like, its own... It takes on its own form, and then maybe I would move it to a second channel. Or I guess a third channel at this point. But right now, I don't want it to be that. I don't intend on any of the bits I've put an absurd amount of work into creating. I don't intend on any of the bits I have put an absurd amount of work into creating. I don't intend those to die with the channel switch. I see. Was the Barracuda your favorite mid-price Balisong for last year? It was my favorite newly released mid-priced Balisong for last year. My actual favorite mid-price Balisong was probably the Corvus. Let me just remind myself what I put on my favorite list for that week that we did at the end of the year last year. Yeah, my favorite mid-range Balisong of 2024 was the Barracuda. And then my favorite acquisition was the Corvus. Not the Corvus. No. Oh no, we can't bring back adding Ussi to every one of the Balisong's names. What's the Corvus from? Is it discontinued? It was a limited time Bally released by LDY. So the Corvus came out, I want to say early last year. It was just like a really small production run by LDY. I believe their whole goal with it was to collect feedback to implement into the Sirius V4. Thomas is sending me a refault, which is cool. Same here. I just really wish he sent them out, you know, before everyone else got their hands on it. Because now everyone's going to be asking me to make a video on it, and I have to wait until the thing shows up. What would you change on the Seraph to make it a more perfect Balisong to you? I would maybe make it a little heavier. Do you still think the Corvus is better than the Sirius V4? I don't think it's objectively better. I think I like it better. I think if you like, I think objectively it's a bit muddy, but I definitely like the Corvus more than the Sirius V4. And the Corvus was just a great value. Wasn't the Corvus like 140? I don't remember what they sold it for. Are you the same way between the Barracuda and the Sirius? I would definitely pick the Barracuda over the Sirius. 130. Yeah, that was a good deal for that thing. What's so good about the Corvus? It was just fun. It had good handle shapes. You can watch any of my previous videos that I made about the Corvus, but it had a good handle shape. It was very round feeling, which I like. But still not being so round that you can't like do ladders and stuff with it. It was very... I hesitate to say blade bias, but it lacked a little bit of handle weight, which made it kind of really fun to fan. The grip was pretty good. The price was pretty good. It was just an overall fairly solid Balisong. Purple and gold. Purple and gold's cool. When I wanted a BB Firefly V1, I always wanted to get a pink and gold one. I never did, though. feel like I missed out on so many great Bally's like the Prisma and the Corvus. There's a lot of Bally's that are considered great that are lost to time. But it's definitely, you can't pretend like there's not currently some amazing things you can get your hands on. Is the Prisma discontinued? Yeah, most everything from Machinewise is discontinued. Now Machinewise's lineup is the Seraph, the Totori, and the Sasori. More like the Sasori TI. Five different channels run by Brandon clones. Brandon Bakes, Brandon's Basketball Tips, Brandon's Bowling Reviews, Brandon's Basket Weaving, and Breakdancing with Brandon. That's fire. The Blade Brigade. Wait. Blade Brigade is fire. They don't make the Opus anymore. I don't think so. I don't know for sure. I think the Opus is kind of in like a nebulous void where it's like not exactly discontinued, but it's also not exactly continued. Brandon Tech Tips. Brandon, you should make a Brandon's Tech Tips video and just make videos about tech flipping and piss off all the high tier flippers. Sasori and Totori are removed from their current listings. They don't sell them actively, but that's because they haven't done a drop for them. What Bally would you say gets close to Prisma performance and value for price nowadays? Probably the Barracuda, but like I don't think anything exists that's like or was like the Prisma, especially for the price. Like I don't think anything properly has replaced the Prisma or the Prisma Pro yet. The Barracuda is probably the closest thing I would say to getting there. Maybe the Sirius V4 trainer, but I haven't tried one. The Prisma was just like a capsule in time. I mean, I guess the BB Barfly Superfly comes close on value, but you are also spending a little bit more money, so. The Prisma is very much like, yeah, it's very, it's one of those Balisongs that's just kind of frozen in a moment in time. Nothing existed before it, nothing exists quite like it since. Their page on individual Balisongs is gone. Oh, Machinewise, what are you doing to me? If I might never own a Totori. No, it's still there. What are you guys talking about? Opus is on her hiatus. Seraph's in production. Totori's in production. TI Sasori's in production. The original Sasori, however, is interestingly nowhere to be found. Oh, I see what you mean. Like they took down like the actual articles about them. But looking at how little was in here anyway, I don't really think that means too much. How's Machinewise been doing? Is there still a list of orders that people can see? I don't think so. Machinewise, I think, has been just kind of focusing on the thing that actually makes the money, which is the Sasora. Sasora? Sonora. It's not on the navigation bar? Oh, I just looked up Machinewise Totori and it came up as the product breakdown. If I actually go onto their website, does it? Oh, interesting. Oh, they restock Saturday at noon. What do they restock generally? Since they stopped announcing their drops online, I kind of lost the fact that they still do them. Yeah, so it looks like the product breakdown is just like an unlisted link that you can still get through if you look it up on Google. Whoa, I didn't know that this existed on Machinewise's website. They have thoughts and notes. They've only ever done one, but thoughts on cloning. This is cool. I wish they did more of this. There's so many things in the Balisong community that I see, and I'm like, I wish more people did that, and then no one ever does it, and it's always sad. See you later, Cyros. Have a good night. I actually should probably get going here as well. I gotta wake up for work in the morning, so good stream though. It's been a minute since I've done a 3-hour stream that actually didn't feel like a 3-hour stream. Blade Brigade. I'm still thinking about Blade Brigade. That sounds cool. I don't know what I could do with that name, but that's a good name. I like that name. All right, everyone. Have a good night. Thank you all for watching. Appreciate it. If you're looking for more from me, go check out Blade Bias. There's probably going to be a video tomorrow, actually, where I unbox this guy. So most of you aren't going to care about it, but for the 5 of you that care about my other hobbies, bonus bias tomorrow. And yeah, thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Flip some good Balisongs, make some good choices, and I already said that. I'll see you in the next one. All right, bye.